Depression and suicide doesn't know a color, a race, or an age. It affects everybody. And I don't think people realize how painful it is to be in the throes of depression. I think if they did, they'd have more empathy for people that are going through it. The challenging thing about depression, it's not one thing. It is a lot of precipitating factors. And I'd been living with depression since I was 16. So I was somewhat aware of some of my own red flags. I was having insomnia, particularly dreadful and negative at work. I was losing focus. I didn't shower. I didn't eat. I developed like a social phobia, and I didn't leave the house for weeks at a time. I had suicidal ideation, thinking about ways to die, ways to kill myself. And it's heartbreaking to me that I lived that way for almost 2 years. My first suicide attempt was in 2014, before my 30th birthday. I just felt like I don't want to live in this life anymore. I've lost my hotshot TV job. My boyfriend has left me. I've gained 100 pounds. I don't even recognize myself in the mirror anymore. And this is hard for a lot of people to understand if they're not spiritual. God came to me and said, I need you to get up from this moment, but not just for you, but for so many other people. When they see you get up and be strong enough to tell your story, it's going to free them also. And it did. It humbles me beyond measure how it did free people. I had popular girls from high school that never spoke to me and said, I've survived a suicide attempt. You're so brave. I've had people who, listening to my story, have said, I didn't know that I could get gap insurance by the state that deals with serious mental illness. So that showed me the power of telling your story. We have to start normalizing the discussion about mental health. It's not a thing to be afraid of. I think all the time, if I had learned to accept that having depression and anxiety was okay, if I would have had counselors that were talking about it in school, or I felt like there was a safe place, I think that would have led to accepting and getting help sooner. The more that we have examples of people living with their mental illness, succeeding with it, showing that getting help is okay and powerful and brave, the more that we break that stigma.